My name's Shay, I'm a nutritionist and an international level athlete, and we're back covering another person's diet. And today's about Bryan Johnson, and you've probably heard of him before. He's pretty prominent in the health community at the moment, and honestly one of my favorites as well. I think he preaches some interesting ideas. There's no ego, there's a lot of integrity with a lot of the stuff he does, even though he catches a lot of flack from the mainstream media. Essentially, he's very hyper-focused on longevity, and his diet is perfectly geared to promote that. I do like to promote positivity here, and it's kind of hard sometimes when the diet's trash to remain positive, so this time I'm actually going to be able to do that because he does know what he's talking about.
Hey, what's up?
So good to see you.
Yeah, so good to see you.
Long. I have something to give you.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, like I guess before people typically take a shot, get in the right mind state, this is going to be extra virgin olive oil.
Oh, wow.
To Forever Tomorrows.
Actually tastes really good.
Yeah, olive oil is an interesting topic because I use it every day, and it really can vary based on the quality. Just base cheap olive oil though is still pretty good. You're still getting omega-3s, which are very helpful in the modern day diet to counter inflammation from omega-6s. But if you go out of your way to get these verified to be minimally processed olive oils, which is what Bryan has created, he actually has it branded for him now, and it's verified to be maxed out in flavonoids and vitamin E, which can be lost in processing a little bit. And this is pretty cool because not any other brands are going to have this verified to be like the most healthy option.
And I wake up in the morning, I have a drink I call the Green Giant. And this has 13 milligrams of spermidine, 7.6 grams of aminos, 0.5 grams of creatine, 20 grams of collagen peptides, and 500 milligrams of cocoa flavanols, cinnamon.
I love cinnamon.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. A little mountain of rejuvenation.
So do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, so a few more interesting points here. He's got a few things that are very high in flavonoids. Flavonoids, of course, are also antioxidants, and why this is relevant for Bryan is because if he's trying to max out longevity, flavonoids become very important because these will clear up any inflammatory free radicals which can damage cells, including neurons. And, you know, if you're 110 and your body's working, but you haven't taken measures to protect brain health, you know, what's the point, right? You probably can't even think straight. Additionally, countering inflammation can reduce the wear and tear on telomeres. They can protect them from straight up getting damaged, and if your telomeres run too short, which they will eventually in time, your cell can no longer divide, which is, you know, what happens in old age. So he's protecting against this as well. So the spermidine, the cocoa powder, and the cinnamon all have this going for it. The cocoa powder is really interesting here because he's using an extract which has enhanced flavonoids, or it's just the flavonoid extract, right? Because to get the amount of flavonoids that you would need for it to be quite effective from cocoa, you'd need to eat a lot of it, which would be problematic because lead and cadmium poisoning would come into the frame. So he's kind of avoiding this just by having the extract, which is pretty fair enough.
I was going to prepare the super veggie for him, which is the first meal of the day, but really I think I'm going to enjoy more watching Steve. Every calorie has had to fight for its life to be included. Okay. So what we have here is 300 grams of black lentils.
More anti-inflammatories.
Broccoli, cauliflower, maitake mushrooms, cumin, hemp seeds, and this is ginger and garlic and apple cider vinegar. Yeah, do as you please.
Yeah, so the mushrooms there, the black lentils, and I think it was ginger, they all have more anti-inflammatory properties, so helping counter this inflammation even further. This is something he really prioritizes, which is good. I talk about it a lot on my channel, and it's nice to see someone else talking about it, because in my eyes, it's one of the biggest metrics for health and just so neglected. If you see like bodybuilders or like high-level fitness people, they're kind of neglecting it. They're all focused on things like protein, which is fine, but your life, your cognition, your recovery, everything gets better when you're countering inflammation. As far as apple cider vinegar goes, I haven't seen much good research. I'd like to know what sort of study he found that was actually leading the charge with that, but it doesn't add any calories here. And a big point here is Bryan follows like a calorie restriction diet, which the thought process there is it slows down all your growth factors, therefore slowing down some of your cell division. Additionally, that inflammation will slow down cell division even further because there's less damage to cells, so they don't have to replicate as much, and therefore your body's turning over slower and will theoretically last longer. And there's a bit of evidence to prove that as well. And when your calories are so low, you need your micronutrient density to be through the roof because you're not eating much food total, so it has to be dense because your micronutrient targets stay the exact same, right? If you just eat the same diet but less, you're probably missing the mark. If you are enjoying, please be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. It's free, helps me out, and I'd love to have you on board.
So can I get into it right now?
Do it.
This is definitely the healthiest breakfast I've ever had in my life. I like it because One, it's the Bryan Johnson blueprint protocol, and I love that.
Cool.
So I know that's helping my organs.
Yeah. And dark chocolate. So dark chocolate's one of the most powerful things you can have in your diet. People think chocolate, Snickers bar, might as well.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
Put that cookie down!
What you really want is 5 layers deep, which is dark chocolate, undutched, tested for heavy metals, and looking at high polyphenol count. So you have to really drill down to find the highest quality ingredient.
Okay.
That's true for the olive oil, it's true for everything else.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said earlier. You need some verification as far as olive oil and also cacao powder to know that these are actually containing the polyphenols that you're trying to pay for, right? And the cool thing about Bryan is, as I said before, he's really offering all the stuff that's verified to have the health benefits that you should be paying for. And he's done it not for profit. He's made plenty of money in tech, so this is kind of just his passion project. Well, it's his lifestyle and his passion project, but I think there's a lot of integrity here with Bryan. He's not just trying to make a quick buck of his audience, like he has enough money, which I think is refreshing. There's so many people just trying to make money out of people, particularly with misinformation. It's like, oh, the only way you can make progress is if you buy my olive oil. It's not the case here.
And then I finished by 11 a.m. or so. The science on fasting is not really there yet. So if somebody eats different time frames, fine, not a big deal.
Yeah.
I just like it because when I go to bed after 10 hours of fasting, I get my best sleep. So it's really all about sleep for me.
Yeah, I like that he's willing to admit that there isn't too much strong evidence as far as fasting goes. I always say it's more of like a lifestyle choice. Personally, I feel a bit sharper in the morning if I haven't eaten like until closer to midday, but you want to make sure that you're getting enough in to support your training. I guess one of the things here is this isn't a diet to maximize training. You would need much higher calorie and probably higher protein as well, but that's not what he's after here. So additionally, eating too close to bed can cause issues as far as sleep latency, particularly if it was fat or protein based, which means it'll take you longer to get to sleep. Theoretically, the sleep quality will be worse as well. The evidence is a bit weaker there, but I guess we're just waiting for research on that one.
This is called Nutty Pudding. So it's macadamia nuts, walnuts, flaxseed, pomegranate juice, sunflower lecithin, also a cup of macadamia milk, pea protein, and berries. And so if you want in here, you can just add these ingredients, stir.
So the flax seeds and the walnuts are very dense in omega-3, and omega-6 is everywhere. If we don't have enough omega-3, the omega-6, although we need it, can become pro-inflammatory, and they compete for the same enzyme to be converted into eicosanoids. I think it's eicosanoids. And then the omega-6 ones are problematic, so it gets outcompeted if you have too much 6-3, so flax seeds and walnuts are high in omega-3, which is fantastic nowadays because things like seed oils are everywhere, and these are dense in omega-6, which we want to avoid a little bit. Berries, particularly blueberries, are very dense in more antioxidants. I'd like to see the evidence on the macadamias, because if you see my nut tier list, which I did the video right before this, they were at the bottom. I'd like to see what study there is. I'm open to changing my mind if there's some evidence I haven't seen before, but yeah, I'd like to see what study he's referencing with that. It's like, yeah, you can just have macadamias because they're nice, but as you said before, everything has to fight for itself in this diet, so there's got to be a reason. I'm not sure though. Maybe it was just a misread and it was meant to be some other nut. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of nitpicking a bit there. Pomegranate juice also has antioxidants, but one talking point I wanted to kind of finish off this video is a lot of these antioxidants can target different free radicals, which are the pro-inflammatory molecules. So having a big range of them can be helpful just to make sure they're mopping up pretty much all types of pro-inflammatory molecules. One thing that's interesting though is there is a little bit of evidence to prove that overconsumption of certain antioxidant foods can disrupt regular cell functioning and signaling. So I wonder if he's checked this, and after looking into this further after recording, this was based off having more than 5 times the recommended amount of antioxidants, which he might actually be hitting in his diet, but another point here is he's got like a boatload of pills and I don't know what's in them. Are they tipping them even further? So I guess that's my question.
Normally I would take 60 some odd pills with that.
Okay.
Managing inflammation is something I always prioritize, but in his diet, pretty much everything is geared towards that, which, as I said before, might be an issue for cell signaling. So I guess that's my one question. But to close it out, like, this is a, interesting diet. I think it's nice that there's no narrative here where you have to follow all of this. If you just pick out some of these foods he's eating, I'm sure your diet will be bumped up a little bit as far as quality goes, which is quite nice because he's providing a lot of science here. Less so studies in this video, but a lot of healthy food choices that I'm sure will have a place in your diet. But yeah, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this, you might enjoy these videos, but I'll see you next time.